webinar. Today we'll be going over some of the new features and versions of HPE's 3-PAR storage array, as well as some of the software improvements that have been recently announced. My name is Dean Gagno. I am a solutions architect with Anexinet. I'll be presenting to you today. Here is my contact information. I'll be showing it again at the end of the slide deck. If you have any questions or would like additional information after the webinar, please feel free to reach out to me directly. For those attending today, you're able to take advantage of a $10 Starbucks gift card by filling out the survey. And for those that take a follow-up meeting in reference to this webinar, you'll be able to get a $20 Starbucks coupon. This first slide talks about the 3-PAR evolution in the mid-range. So starting back with 2012 with the 7000 series, through 2015 when the 8Ks were announced, and through today the new 9450 3-PAR in 2017. So really just, you know, a natural progression and growth in terms of that mid-market and enterprise leadership, capturing enterprise class storage, all-flash arrays, and providing enterprise scale through that mid-range and higher-end portfolio. You can see here also it's for 2 consecutive years, HPE and 3-PAR has been #1 mid-range storage, #1 for critical capabilities, and the best-in-class storage. So this talks about the complete 3-PAR mid-range portfolio, starting with spinning media and or flash with the 8200 low-cost level entry, and then moving up into the 8400 base level, and then through the 8440 3-PAR, providing flexibility again with spinning media and or flash. And then we go into the all-flash arrays of the 8450, really your density array, into the newly announced 9450, which is your density and high-end performance enterprise level feature all-flash array of the 3-PAR. So here is the newly announced 9450 3-PAR Store Serv. So this is your upper mid-range dual socket all-flash platform, 4-node scalable. It's got 2.4 gigahertz, 10-core CPUs per node, 80 cores per system. It has 2 of the Gen 5 ASICs per node. So again, going beyond that typical 1 ASIC that you would have with an 8000 series, you're taking some of the enterprise level features of the 20K and putting them down into the mid-range level. You have a 10 gig RCIP, so replication port capability now, up to 80 host ports per system, 20 per node, and it goes along with the new all-inclusive software licensing model. Here we see the improvements to the 3-PAR 20K series. You're going to see a Rev 2 for the 20K that will be coming out shortly. Main thing here is improved performance, 3.8 million IOPS, improved density, capability to do 288 SSDs per rack, and future proofing. So the availability of SCM and NVMe ready capable drives and caching, the 20K series update will be able to support this. Again, continuing its best-in-class performance leading enterprise array. So this slide talks about, again, the SCM and NVMe capabilities. So SCM being storage class memory, providing high levels of performance compared to NAND flash, but currently at a bit of a higher cost. This is supported by NVMe, which is non-volatile memory express, providing, again, high performance, low overhead, and access to solid state media at drive level performance. So the major takeaway here is that the 2000 series update is now supporting SCM and NVMe going forward. You'll first see this as an additional caching tier. So much like fast cache works right now as a caching mechanism for spinning-based disks, you'll see SCM and NVMe start as a caching tier for SSD, again, providing higher level performance than what you can achieve today. So 16 times lower max latency, 50 50% lower average latency, and 80% higher IOPS. The 331 update that's coming out for the 3PAR, you have a range of adaptive data reduction features now. So in your 3PARs, you currently have zero to tech, which basically recognizes all the zeros inline and not storing those on the back end. Deduplication, preventing the storing of duplicate data. New feature being added with 331 is compression. So in addition to deduplication, you're now having compression introduced to further reduce the data footprint. And then data packaging, being able to pack multiple pages together and being able to present them, further increasing your data reduction. You're looking at reducing your storage costs with over a 4.1 total compaction, increasing performance, having all of this be done via hardware and always in line. And then again, future-proofing yourself for things like SCM memory coming down the road. So this slide goes a little bit further into 3PAR's deduplication. The 3PAR deploys deduplication inline and leveraging memory. So host writes data to the array held in cache pages to increase write performance. The 3PAR ASICs checks to see if the pages are duplicates of existing pages, and then duplicates are removed. Only unique data is flushed to the SSD, reducing writes. So the 3PAR ASICs paired with express index lookup tables provides higher performance and lower latency inline deduplication. So this is the 3PAR advanced inline in-memory compression. So compression uses the same 3-layer exception tables used for deduplication. The host writes data to the array held in cache pages to increase write performance. Page compressed using CPU once, express scan verifies the data and compresses it, and then compressed pages are written to SSD for permanent storage. So the 3PAR StoreServ leverages express scan technology to prevent wasted CPU cycles when employing the new compression algorithm. Some of the typical expected compression results, you're looking at structured data, databases, average of 50% savings, so 2 to 1, and then unstructured data, file data, you're looking at average savings of about 35%, 1.5 to 1. So another new feature I introduced now is the 3PAR software licensing model. So really they've done away with the complexity of all the different options, made it really simple. So every 3PAR system now ships with every feature you need for a single array, minus data at rest encryption and replication. For highly available systems and multiple systems that you want to do replication with, you can get a multi-system software option, again, for remote copy, federation, peer persistence, and CLX. In a nutshell, it's really 2 licensing options. One for no replication, gets you everything you need, and then another one for doing multiple systems and employing remote copy, replication, federation, and peer persistence. And then there's a separate SKU option for data at rest encryption. So existing customers can transition at their own pace. To go to the all-encompassing licensing, it's a small uptick, and that'll give you, once you do that, it gives you access to all the features. And there's no dependency on 3PAR OS versions or data availability. And you're able to protect your initial investment, where existing remote copy licenses enable all-inclusive multi-system software licensing. Existing peer motion without remote copy licenses enable unlimited access to peer motion. So if you're a customer that doesn't have the all-encompassing licensing, feel free to reach out to me and we can go into a further explanation here. It's really a simple changeover that can definitely provide further cost savings for you. One of the new changes also is the warranty model on SSDs. So right now you have a 3-year warranty for standard spinning drives. You have industry leading 5-year for SSD. This is still above any other manufacturer that's out there in terms of providing a 5-year warranty, base 5-year warranty for their SSDs. But HPE is now extending the SSDs to 7 years. So this is for existing 8,000 and 2,000 systems going all the way back to 2015. You're able to take advantage and get this new 7-year warranty on all your SSD drives. This covers all deployment types, including all flash and hybrid models. So it's not just for all flash units. It's for any unit that has SSDs in it. Again, going back to 2015 for the 8,000 and the 2,000 systems. So new features with VMware Vols support. It is now fully supported with remote copy replication. 3PAR was the first system that was certified for VVols, and you're continuing to see that leadership with VVols and VMware, with now having them supported via replication. So this is 100% native, no additional appliances or anything needed, and it's all managed through the 3PAR SSMC system. This slide talks about Recovery Manager Central 4.0 that's coming out. It's now supporting SAP HANA database application consistency on 3PAR arrays. More flexibility, you can now deploy RMC on a Hyper-V VM or the currently supported VMware VM. It's now more affordable. It's included with the 3PAR all-inclusive licensing. So when you buy 3PAR, you get RMC now. And also support for Store Virtual VSA is now possible with version 4.0. So that means that the HC250 hyperconverged is now supported. Bi-directional pure copy between 3PAR and Store Virtual, another new feature. Basically, you're able to put VSAs out at remote offices and have the 3PAR integrate with it to handle replication and data movement, leveraging RMC 4.0. So this is really bridging the software-defined and system-defined storage together, helping to eliminate appliances and reduce network traffic by having efficient replication via crash-consistent snapshots. And it's a lower cost than traditional approaches. So having to put 2 3PARs out there, if you have a need where a VSA at a remote office could support that, you're able to do that solution at a much lower price point. So here's some of the use cases for HPE Pure Copy. So first one being edge to core protection. Main data center, I have my 3PAR, maybe Store Once, Preliance. And at the robo offices, I have Preliance with Store Virtual VSAs. Benefit here, reduced risk in your robo sites with simple and efficient replication. Next use case is dev test to production data copy. I have my 3PAR array in my production environment and x86 servers with Store Virtual VSA in my dev and test lab. Benefit here, reduce application development costs by using software-defined storage in dev and test lab. And a third use case is lower cost replication option. So I would have my 3PARs at my primary site, and traditionally I had to replicate this to another 3PAR. Again, now I can go ahead and replicate that out to a Store Virtual VSA. Again, benefit being here, reduced risk with simple and efficient replication by leveraging existing server resources. So if you have some x86 servers, convert them into a Store Virtual VSA, and now I've got a replication partner for my 3PAR at a much lower cost entry. So 3PAR has improved its iSCSI enhancements, low cost connectivity for more consolidation opportunities, really a performance increase. So up to 40% increase in performance for iSCSI leveraging express writes. Enhanced multi-tenancy, so support for duplicate IPs on the same port with different VLANs, and more port connectivity, so leveraging the new combo HBAs for host connection for block and file storage on 3PAR 2-node systems and 4-node systems. So a lot of new features have come out for 3PAR file persona in the security and scaling capabilities. So first one is improved sharing, NTFS security, and cross-protocol lock for seamless group file sharing, SMB and NFS. Enterprise governance, so you have file lock capabilities now to meet extended use case requirements. Double scalability, larger file system size, so all the way up to 64 terabytes for a file provisioning group. Better availability, online file system check to complement inherent file system integrity. Programmatic management, 3PAR web service API to automate file persona management. So new feature that's also available with file persona updates is file lock for data retention. So configured and managed at the VFS or file store level, protects against accidental, premature, or malicious deletion and modification of data, and provides data retention for any period of time as required by legal statute or internal policy. Full worm capabilities there, so administrators can only extend the retention period of a file and or delete a retained file. Retention profiles like auto commit period and legal holds supported. Ensures data integrity via checksum validation for worm files, and uses system clock to enforce retention policies. So some of the use cases for the new file lock feature is internal corporate governance and regulations like ISO or Sarbanes-Oxley, records management, email archives, legal documents, financial data, prevent inadvertent deletion from group shares, used in addition of ACLs to prevent deletions of files, healthcare, long-term retention of patient records, and video surveillance, critical video footage protected from accidental, premature, or malicious alteration or deletion. Another new feature 3PAR is providing is combination host bus adapters. So this is using combination of ports to add more flexibility in file persona deployments. So the first one is a 4-port FC combo card adapter. It's got two 10 gig E and two 16 gig fiber channel ports on a single card. And they also have 10 gig E and iSCSI combinations. So that's two 10 gig E ports and two 10 gig E iSCSI ports. So you're able to do things like 8,002 node systems running file persona and iSCSI. You couldn't do that before. It's also now you can do file persona remote copy over fiber channel and persistent ports, again on an 8,002 node system where you couldn't do that before. And you can now run RCIP over 10 gig ports on an 8,000. So a lot of new combinations and increase of flexibility with these combination cards. These new HBAs do require the new 3PAR OS 331. We also have now enhancements to the StoreServ management and StoreFront remote capabilities. So federation and replication enhancements, being able to automate data mobility across multiple systems, pure persistence across 3 data centers, automated lights out pure motion, and automatic federation zoning, increased dashboards and reporting, so simplifying visualization and trending analysis, hardware schematics, interactive historical reports, custom dashboards and performance views, and providing cloud-based analytics with HPE StoreFront Remote. So analyzing trending data for health, efficiency, and capacity planning, also providing software update and patch notifications, telemetry analysis and best practice recommendations, and proactive risk assessment and gap analysis. So that's all the slides that we have for today. Appreciate everyone staying around to go through the webinar. We're going to take a few questions now that have been submitted. Question 1 is, what is the best practice for running deduplication and compression together? So ideally, it's recommended to run them both at the same time. So if you're aware, as you're aware, 3PAR only allows deduplication and compression on the SSD drives. So ideally with, especially all flash arrays or even mixed arrays, when you have virtual volumes sitting on the SSD layer, you want to go ahead and turn on dedupe and compression. In the latest code 331, they've done a lot of work, especially around deduplication, to improve the efficiencies there, where previously before 331 OS, it didn't make sense. You'd end up having a lot of wasted or extra space added in for deduping things that didn't dedupe very well, such as databases. So they've improved that and changed the deduplication model around to where now it makes sense. Even if it is a database, what have you, you can still go ahead and turn dedupe on as well as compression. And the 3PAR is smart enough now to not have that wasted space and extra cycles that are needed. It's going to be able to use dedupe and compression concurrently and optimize the best way it can according to the data sets. Question number 2 is, what does RMC really do for me? So RMC, Recovery Manager Central, really what RMC does is it gives you all the benefits of storage-based snapshots with application consistency. So what does that mean? Application consistency being, if I take a snapshot of a virtual volume or a LUN and it's a database, it will be what's called crash consistent. There might be some information that's still left in the buffers and didn't get flushed down. Application consistency being a process that it goes through, typically VSS, RMAN for Oracle, what have you, where it'll flush everything down so you know everything's in a consistent state and written to disk. So if you have a hard power failure or a database failure, what have you, you'll know that all of your data at the time of that snapshot is consistent and ultimately pushed down to the disk. So that's what Recovery Manager Central will provide for you. The other nice benefit feature that it has is it provides direct integration between the 3PAR and the store once and automates the process for sending that data directly between the two units. So if I have, for example, a SQL database, I want to protect that with application consistency, I can use RMC, schedule the snapshot, it'll make the calls to SQL VDI in this case, run through its flushing and consistency process, take the snapshot, and then automatically send it over to the store once. So if you want to bring that back, you know that particular snapshot is application consistent. Again, this is really taking your backups to a higher level where you can start providing tiering, as I've discussed in previous webinars, what have you, where you can set up tier 0, tier 1, tier 0 being your highest, most important data, and now you're able to provide multi-layers of protection for that. So consistent snapshots, replication, local protection, and being able to apply SLAs to those tiers and work your way down, removing features as you go down the stack. So that's what Recovery Manager Central offers. With the new 4.0 version, again, being able to install it not only in VMware, in Hyper-V, and having it integrate very seamless and easy. And the last question is, how do we migrate our data over to 3PAR? So when you're looking to migrate data to a 3PAR, you have a few options. It really comes down to how is the data currently presented. So VMware data, typically it's going to be storage vMotion. You would plug in your new array, you would use VMware storage vMotion to move the VMs and the data over and migrate that way. Very straightforward and simple. With physical servers, 3PAR actually has a tool called online import. And what that is, it's a small install tool that you put on a host server that can talk to the 3PAR array as well as multiple storage vendors, those being HPE EVA, EMC storage line, Hitachi storage line, IBM storage, as well as Oracle rack environments. You would take your typically fiber channel connections and hook some extra ports between that 3PAR and whatever array, and the online import can automate the process of bringing those LUNs over. And it understands it from a host level to where you don't have to take downtime to move the data. What you actually do is you install the software, you get everything hooked up, and then you tell it to start migrating the data. It'll do this as your environment continues to run. So you don't have to knock out your customers in terms of accessing their application. Any new writes, information will still be captured and moved over while you're migrating data in the background. So when the migration is over, you can literally just flip over. There's actually not even a switch or a button you have to hit. It just happens automatically. When the data on the LUN is finished copying, the 3PAR and the online import software will know to cut the connections to the old array for that LUN, and now it's just running on the new array. So a very seamless, easy relatively quick way to migrate, particularly physical servers, between an existing legacy array and your new 3-par. So that's all the questions that we have today. Again, I want to thank everybody for joining us for the 3-par webinar and new enhancements with 3.1 and the compression and the other features that we talked about today. Want to